Hey there. I want to talk a little bit about how people really have the wrong idea about shamanism. Shamanism, I think we can safely say, was humanity's first spirituality, first religious pursuit, spiritual pursuit, however you want to call that. And they're different, I suppose, in spirituality, it's a constant exploration where religious can become very stagnant and dogmatic. So I went to an interesting place called the Neanderthal Museum in Germany about 6 years ago. And you get to see how long we've been on the planet, almost 1 million years, and the evolutionary things we went through in the different time periods. And there was one period about halfway through that where we started to take funerals seriously. A funeral was a ceremonious event, and they would dress up the body and they would honor it. It was even dead, but it still deserved good treatment to the last phase, And then all kinds of other belief systems stem from that, from dreams and interpretations or whatever, because the human mind, the ego, that wants to figure things out. And if it figures things out, it gives you a little bit of control over a situation, makes people feel more confident, and the ego likes that. But when it comes down to, here we are 20-some years into the 21st century, there's so many different things that the Neanderthals didn't deal with. There's a lot of stuff that I didn't deal with. It was a young man, with the government situations, economy, and so on. A lot of this stuff is new scenarios and new ways. And so when the younger people, especially the men these days, are looking for answers, for purpose, what's their purpose in life? Is there anything more than just living life and paying bills? And it's like they start on a bit of a spiritual quest, but yet when the term shaman or shamanism comes up, they automatically picture some guy in some goofy looking clothes with crystals and little animal body parts as necklaces and other weird shit like that, always hanging out with a drum doing yah yah hey hey stuff, right? And that's not really the case, not with the real shamans anyways. And I say real shamans in comparison to the new age flakes that never had any formal training, channeled stuff from their cat or something, and poof, now they're a shaman. So no, but the work that I do with people as far as counseling or spiritual guidance and stuff like that is bees and biting flies in a barn, is just listening to the person. And they see themselves in life, they've been programmed, everybody's been programmed from day one, okay? And it's hard to escape that to find your truth. And like I've said in other videos, people will tell you exactly what's wrong with them by what they say directly, but if you listen well, they'll tell you exactly what they need to get where they want to be, even if they can't express it consciously. Their soul knows, and there's different exercises to do with people. Very simple, drug-free. You don't need all the drugs to do this, and often enough the drug journeys, no matter what teacher plan they tell you, it can just take you down the wrong road. But it's real simple stuff. And to get to know the person in their truth, even if they don't like it, you have to figure out if they like it, don't like it because of social programming, and they're not happy about that. And then you can work with that too. But once you get someone aligned within that truth, and a lot of it can just be conversation, simple conversation, exploration like that, in a decently timed appointment. 1 hour appointments don't get much. I do two hours minimum. But you can get that person to where they're starting to really sense into their truth. And then there's going to be some conflict of their programming, the life choices that they've already made based on that programming and expectations from friends, family, because we're still pack animals and we want to be accepted, acknowledged, and all that. And so a lot of it with especially the younger people is more of a talking with them, which is actually letting them talk more and helping them get out of feedback loops, meaning that they have a tendency to just only talk about the surface. you know, and when you go a little deeper, they don't have any answers. So we listen to like the speed of the speech, the formulation of the sentence, body language, we watch that. And you can see that this person is they're opening the book on themselves. They're letting you read the foreword and introduction. But once you get past page 1, they don't know what's in the book. And you help them find that out. And you help them, you know, adjust to the transitions of that truth. Because like I said, they'll find things out about themselves. They go, I don't want to be that. But you are that. And that's okay. You know, I know that was pretty vague, but humans are so beautifully complex with these awesome intricacies. I say that so much, but it's such a truth. That's why I love this work. And so my message to people, if you're looking for a kind of a spiritual exploration, don't write off shamanism so quick. You know, you can talk with me. There's one of my great apprentices, John Rudat, is working on some things. We can do more public access programs and stuff like that. Keith, my buddy Keith Bassetti, another apprentice, is really alert young man, you know, to work with. So give us a shot, you know. We'll do more videos. These guys are a lot more tech savvy than I am, so we'll put something out, you know, and share it, and I'll give you guys videos on it and explain, you know, a lot of the intricacies, little exercises you can do yourself to prove to yourself the things that we're telling you are real. All right, that everything is public information. You just need to know where. Energy manipulation is no different than just picking up a cup of coffee and moving it from one location to another. And we'll just give you the exercise so you can prove it to yourself. Now, when that happens, it's an interesting phenomenon too. We've done some things with people and they're like, holy shit, this stuff works. It's real. I'm like, yeah, told you. And this is just the beginning. And they'll do one or two things. It's like, sign me up. No, I want to go the distance. Put me in, coach. I want to play. Or they'll go, nah, I'm not ready for this. Catch y'all later, bye. And we don't hear from them again. And sometimes later, most of the time not. Because they don't want you to disturb their perceived truth about their reality, their perceived reality. They like being comfortable. People in general are lazy. You know, if sex wasn't fun, then we would have gone extinct a long time ago. You know, very, very few people have that ambition, that initiative, and that's where the roots of shamanism really started. Somebody wanted to make that extra effort to understand things and pursue that journey, and then share the findings with people. People, you know, for the most part, they just took it as entertainment. So, anyways, leave comments. Leave also comments about other things you'd like to have videos on, and we'll see how we go from there. As a matter of fact, I just thought of a comment somebody left on another video. I'll do the next video on that one. Till then, peace, love, white light. Catch y'all later.